So to place your design on the pillow, you just want to basically lay it on the top. And you can arrange it a couple different ways. Obviously, just straight across is what a lot of students will choose, like this. However, that's not the only option you can have. You can do like a rainbow option, where they kind of take the shape of a rainbow. Obviously, if you had more letters, you could do it like that even. Some students will do like a zigzag, like this. You could do diagonal. So you've got several options other than just simply placing it straight across the pillow. One thing you need to be careful about is how far close to the edge, I guess I should say, you put it. Don't put it too close like this. Sorry, like this. If you put it too close like this, then when you go to sew your edges and you stuff it, part of your letter will only be showing. So make sure that you clear the edges by at least an inch. If you're curious about how far an inch is approximately, if you take your thumb to your knuckle, that's about an inch. So you can just kind of use that as a guideline if you're struggling to figure out how far to the edge you should go. Same thing obviously here with the top. It's okay to place letters or designs on both sides of your pillow, so feel free to do it however you want. For our purposes today, I'm just going to go ahead and just pin down one. So we'll just pick the P here, and I will pin it. If you want to, you don't like to pin it down, another option would be to glue it down with just a little tiny bit, a couple little tiny drops of glue that we can get for you if you choose to do that option instead. The only thing is with doing glue is it's more permanent, because once you move it, you're going to have marks from the glue. So if you pin something you don't like it, you can remove it and change it. If you glue something, it's more permanent. On the previous video, you saw how to thread your needle. So we've already threaded our needle. Typically, you're going to want to go with a thread that actually matches your letter the best you can. And so I know that this obviously is black and this is gold, so this does not match. I'm doing this for contrast purposes for the video today. We want to start on the back side, so this big ugly knot is on the back. So I'm just going to put it on the back, and I'm going to try to find where I want to start. So we can start basically anywhere on the letter that you want, and you're just going to bring it up, okay, so you can't get it to go up anymore, and then you're going to go down, and the key here is just really tiny small stitches. Okay, so I'm going to pull from the back, and it should make a stitch about like that. So here, let's do some more. And this is hard a little bit because you've got to go try to figure out where did you last stop, and you can't really see that very well. So you are doing a little bit of guessing. So down. So you'll see on my next one, like I'll have to kind of guess as to where I last left off. I'm going to turn it a little bit here to make it easier on myself. So you might see like, oh, there goes my needle. It's not the right spot, obviously. So I have to kind of guess a few times to get to the right location. Now I'm at the right location, so I can pull up. That's okay. You have to guess a little bit. Back down into the project. And you're going to keep repeating this step, and you can see how I'm going around the edges. I'll probably just go up on this one, and I'll start to come up this way. The smaller, the better. I'm doing just a little bit bigger than I typically would on my own type of project, just because I want you to be able to adequately see this on the video. Okay, and you're going to do this pretty much for the remainder of the letter. If you have a smaller letter, you definitely should be able to do this with one thread. If you have a medium letter like this letter, it's probably going to take 2, possibly 3 threads to do it. If you have a large letter, you're probably talking more like 5 or 6. So be prepared to thread your needle again and again. Let's pretend though that we're done with this letter, or that I'm running out of thread. Well, first let's figure out how we know if we're running out of thread. We know we're running out of thread if we have less than an L's worth of thread. So I'm going to do that right here. Okay, so I make like an L with my finger. I put it up next to it. If I have this much thread or less, I have to stop, no matter whether I'm done or not. So I'm going to pretend like that's all I had left. So let's just go back. Okay, I'm going to do one more normal stitch here, and then we're going to pretend like we found out we have too little thread. So, or we're done. What I'm going to do, as you've seen me doing previously, is that I'm pulling all the way up. On my final stitch, the one I need to end on, I am not going to pull it all the way up, okay? I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to just pull it up enough that I can turn it around and get it back into the project. Now I'm going to flip it over to the back side. And here's where my thread is. And obviously I have a lot here because I'm not done with the pillow actually. I'm not done with this letter. But we're just going to pretend. So normally when you do this, it's going to look something more like this, okay? And you just are simply going to go through this 1, 2, at least 3 times. You can do more. The more you do, the larger the knot will become. And simply just pull it. You can see the knot start to pull down. Sometimes you got to use your fingers just to kind of push it down right next to the pillow like that. And then you'll simply just clip your thread, and you would start with a new thread. So you just do your knot, okay, just like previous. Make your knot, and then you could start with a new letter or a new grouping of thread. You would obviously not do that if you had just an L's worth of thread, okay? And that's how you would sew your letter on. Then you may simply just remove your pins once you finish.